Hello everyone and welcome back to the 107th episode of PandTha Talks.
Hello, I'm dying.
Yeah, we have a bit of an unwell Will this week, but we also have a lot of good things, which I'm hoping to cheer him up with.
So he claims, but as usual, and anyone who watches will understand, but I'm very skeptical anytime Rory says he has quote unquote good things.
Yeah, he's always skeptical. So yeah, this week I'm actually going to start out with a new game I've literally found 2 minutes before the episode has started, before Will joined.
2 whole minutes, you know he's worked on that one.
Oh, I actually have. This looks good. Which is called EngineFall, so we'll be starting with that topic. After that, we'll be moving into the core topic I think Will want to discuss. Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Oh yes,
the good, the bad, and everything in between on that one. After that, we will be discussing how a new video game workers' union has been established, which is some positive news for the game industry. Means we can finally, hopefully, start to see some improvement on that. Because, dear God, am I getting a bit concerned by it.
Hope is the keyword there.
Yeah. After that, we'll be discussing something to do with a new upcoming Korean tactical shooter, which the AI apparently is looking phenomenal. It's called Project TA.
Interesting.
After that, we'll be discussing how a screenshot has been found of Microsoft showing Steam on its Xbox apps and an Xbox dashboard. It's a screenshot we looked at 2 weeks ago and missed it.
You're joking.
No, I am not.
Suck at this, Rory.
I know, don't we just? We're dreadful. After that, we'll be discussing Razer's new AI and how it can benefit gamers. After that, we'll be discussing as well AtomFall, a review that has been published on the game because we were quite intrigued by that game when we first saw it.
Mm-hmm.
And onwards from there, we'll be discussing one of the GTA developers, a veteran in that industry, basically working on a new open world game that will apparently belong to everyone. Almost like a wild mix of Minecraft, Roblox and Minecraft servers. It won't just be the developers, but it'll be involving everyone, including the games community. And we'll be looking at the trailer for that, which is called mindseye, something we actually missed over a month ago. So yeah, we have one hell of a week. It's going to be quite in detail, so let's get into it and we'll start with some good news.
Sounds intriguing.
So I've got to start with this because I literally just found it, and I think this looks so cool. So
what are we working with here? What are we looking at?
This is EngineFall. EngineFall, basically, have you ever seen? There's a film sort of based on the concept. This is actually out now, by the way. Well, it's in playtest and it's public playtest, so you can go and request access. There's a film sort of based on a similar concept where they're on a train and they're constantly moving, and there's sort of a revolt from the back end of the train where all the sort of like slave labour, I guess you could say, live, moving up to the posher ends and then the captain's quarters and all that. So the way this sort of works is you start out at the lowest end of the train. You and your friends have to fight your way up to the front of the train to take control and own that train. And then you have to defend from people fighting their way up as well. This is all PvP as well. You can build bases, the entire area changes as you progress, and basically you're trying to fight to take away the train. At any point as well, you can split off and create your own train, and then people will start fighting their way up your train. As you can imagine, this sounds like an absolute clusterfuck, but it looks so cool. Like, graphically, and I'm going to show a trailer, which is something I don't usually do. Gameplay trailer. We'll play a bit of audio. Graphically looks stunning. And the fact that you're on a constantly moving train just seems like insanity. The guns look nice.
Zero recoil.
Did look a bit low, didn't it? Having to do this
For,
in a
for,
straightforward area looks insane. Times two. What
to
were you
me,
gonna say?
it looks like some interesting version of Rust in a sense. Just
That's
minus
kind.
the whole open world, you're sort of restricted more.
Yeah, it's more linear-ish, but each compartment of the train seems to be like a new entire fucking open area. It's not massive. Well, it's not open world, but it is quite a large fucking environment, like sort of thing.
Yeah, it's
Which,
more. It's gonna be more focused on PvP than other things as well.
oh, definitely. But it looks, to be honest, quite fascinating. I must admit. So I have applied to be part of the access. I really do want to look at this. The customization stuff seemed pretty cool. The base features seem pretty reasonable as they go. But yeah, it just, as you said, it looks a bit like Rust, just in a different way. I am kind of intrigued by this contract system, because that usually means missions related, and leaderboard, we kind of already know what that means. But I don't recall Red Rover. Yeah, there we go. I was thinking, this is probably their first game. I can't really say too much bad things as of straight off the bat, but I am intrigued. I mean, if we look at the, considering obviously public playtest, 6 comments here. What's the server password? Fantastic, what a great start. So you can request, but then obviously you wait for a public playtest to go live and you jump in. Makes sense. So I guess we'll see if more is to come out about that, but I am intrigued to see more. I hope there will be more down the line, please. Because, dear God, we need some new games.
That we do.
Okay, well.
And not a new game that's just gonna run like dog shit or
Yeah.
or be completely removed from the market after a week or anything like that.
Yeah, Mr. Concord. Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about a game I played called Sand?
No?
It's really good. It is, imagine Sea of Thieves, but instead of boats on water, you're giant mechs with cannons on
Oh,
land.
yeah. I think I played it
Yeah.
as well.
It was really good, other than the fact that, it ran 20 FPS.
Yeah, I did
I
play
don't know
this.
how their game ran so poorly, but it just does not run great at all.
It ran
So
pretty
hopefully they fix that.
reasonably for me.
No, there were people having, 90% of players had serious issues with running it.
Yeah, I didn't really have much of an issue, to be fair. But I ended up playing it solo because the people that I was supposed to play with decided, nah, I can't be asked. So, unusual method for my group of friends, pretty much. But yeah. No, I did hear a lot about that game, to be fair. And the bit I did play was pretty fun. I'd imagine it was very much Guns of Icarus-ish. But you need people to do that. And you know how complex that can be. So, here we go, Will. Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yes.
So, I'm going to start out in the usual way.
The faithful way.
Gotta go to Steam. How we doing? So, 81% positive again.
Still 81%.
7,522. I have checked this now 6 times. Every time I've checked it,
Something's a little fishy.
the count is up, but the positivity is capped at 81, it seems. I'm just going to double check that.
Something's a little fishy.
Is that your opinion?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's have a quick look here. So, 79%. Oh, wait, what? Okay. So something there's a bit off, but okay. How's the charts going, actually? So that's what, 24 hours? No, here we go. So yeah, we are currently at, like, peaks at the moment, which is 63,000. That's not bad player count, to be fair. So I can't really complain too much. That's pretty decent. Review scores wise, they seem to be pretty reasonable. Let's have a quick look at the reviews. 2 of my friends have complimented it. Best Assassin's Creed game since 4. So pleased with my experience, but still haven't found the most optimal settings. No reason a single player. These seem to be the major complaints I see as of late when I've been looking down this.
I'm sorry, does this game have microtransactions?
Yes.
So we're back to the offline single player games having microtransactions.
These are not offline.
They're not?
There is no reason a single player offline experience should require any. Oh yeah, sorry, it is. It is offline, but it still requires third party basic connection, and if it's not there, then it'll kick up a fuss and it'll stop you. Which basically
Classic.
means you've got to be online to play. Microtransactions in a fully priced AAA quality single player game is absolute insanity. That's been a thing in Assassin's Creed for a very long time at this point. I'm not even surprised.
Well, no reason for us to be happy about it.
Oh
Or agree with
no,
it.
I don't. I'm just at this point I'm not fucking phased by it. You know what I mean? Consumers are complacent when it comes to companies degrading the user experience more and more in favour of their own interests, and it will just get worse. Please stop supporting these practices. I think they must have known what we were going to say. People don't complain enough about AAA. A market that allows mediocrity will inevitably be filled with it. Way too fucking true. DLS doesn't work, but microtransactions do. Pretty much exactly what you'd expect again. There was that review you sent me, wasn't there?
Yeah.
But you sent me that on Messenger, so I'd rather not pull that up.
I'm sure if you went to the filter reviews to negative, you can probably find it. It's a pretty big review.
Yeah, to be fair, it was the one that I also saw. Review type, negative.
That first one? No.
No, that's the one that I just saw.
Yeah.
No, not quite that. You know what, though? That one might do. Yeah, I'll do that one. 13 hours into the game, I deeply regret buying it. Pretty looking game, no substance inside of it. I will probably play some more of it just to kill some time whilst watching / listening to something in the background. The fact that I have relegated a single-player story-driven game... Sorry. Yeah. To guess I'll listen to a podcast on the side should speak volumes of my opinion on how repetitive it is and how boring the writing is. Also, why the fuck are enemy levels a thing in this game? Why is a common soldier all of a sudden immortal just because he has a higher number? Why do I go from tanking 3 to 4 hits to dying in one shot when all that happened was that the number next to the enemy name went up by 1?
I mean, that's a pretty standard tactic used in games to stop you going areas too early.
Yeah, pretty much. It's okay, but do you know that's something actually to think about? In older games, when you were going to a place that you shouldn't go yet, they sort of like had a mechanic that you've not unlocked yet to go that would allow you to get to that area and allow you to progress around that area with ease. So they made it fucking challenging to do if you wanted to go there, or near impossible until you got this item. That was a better system, in my opinion. Basically saying, come back later, you've not got the mechanic that you need yet.
Yeah, and it built up anticipation to get there as well. You can just go to the area and run around and run away from the enemies the whole time.
Exactly. Whereas nowadays, we just kind of go, oh no, his numbers are too high. Someone
just
help
use
me.
the quick save, quick load buttons.
Yeah.
Every single enemy, and I literally mean single enemy that you kill, you quick save, because that's one less that you have to kill again.
Pretty much. But no, I don't like the whole numbers to this sort of RPG style. I think, to be honest, it's just a bit annoying.
Yeah, it's standard just to have an area locked off through some other means if you're not meant to be there yet.
Yeah. I mean, why is it, though, we've gone to this sort of style? I think back to RPGs, thinking of, like, my favourite RPG game I ever played, Fallout New Vegas. Doesn't have any numbers in it whatsoever for levels. Levels aren't really the thing. You have base level equipment. Each enemy has a base amount of health that does not increase. There are superior versions of the same enemy type, but those are rare. Those are, I guess you could say, like middle bosses sort of things. And dependent on what equipment they have, depends on their health increasing or not, or their armor, or whatever. That's still an RPG, and it's done a lot better than just putting a number above someone's head and going, oh no, his level is 5 times higher than yours. That means you're too weak to deal with him. I suppose it's just the difference in game design over the last couple of years. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying
it feels like there's less creativity in it now.
Yeah.
To like stop you or like even persuade you to not go a certain way yet. Because let's be honest, in
being that we have played the likes of Fallout and Skyrim,
Yep.
it's an open world. You don't give a shit about the storyline. You don't give a shit about areas that you are not supposed to go to yet. You're gonna go everywhere and anywhere as level 1, just because you can and because you want to.
Fallout New Vegas, prime example. I don't know who
Yeah.
I am. I don't know where I must go. All I know is I was shot in the fucking head.
But just it feels like there's no reason to like not go anywhere anymore.
Yeah.
There's nothing stopping you either. Like there's nothing telling you or even like pushing you in the direction of the main story that will eventually lead you to an area. They've given up on doing anything different or figuring out ways to like make you not want to go there just yet. Instead they're just like, oh well, we don't want them in this area until they've progressed this much of the storyline, so let's just make the area impossible to be in because of the enemies.
Yeah, it really does start to feel that way. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this to turn around and go, this game is absolutely dreadful, because people clearly are enjoying it. It's not my cup of tea. The mechanics of it in that regard, what we've just discussed, is not something for me. It's not something I would enjoy. I'm not going to turn around and say that no one should enjoy it and no one should have fun with it. I'm just saying quite clearly, I wouldn't. Maybe if I turned on the guaranteed assassination system, sure. But I once again fall back to the fact that why the fuck is that?
I'm sorry. From
Oh,
you
have I not
saying that, are
told
you
you
telling me
this?
you can fail assassinating someone?
No. I'm about to say something that's going to piss you off. Assassin's
Uh-huh.
Creed. The older games,
Yeah.
you assassinate someone with the hidden blade, they die.
You would imagine that's how assassination works, yes?
Yeah, well, obviously in the newer ones, it just takes off, like, let's say a third of their health. That's how it's been, and it's annoying as fuck. Because you're not guaranteed.
Is that a joke?
No, that's how it's been ever since the RPG style brought it in. Which is what's been really annoying.
I'm starting to understand why you've really started disliking these games.
Yeah. So
I've never really been into Assassin's Creed personally. I've not had too much interest in it. I think it's a bit too slow and boring for me. Even though I play the likes of Deus Ex and spend the entire time crouch walking around, passively, we'll say, neutralizing people to get achievements of completing the game without killing anyone.
Yeah.
But for me, I've not enjoyed it. But I know you were a massive fan of the games, and now
adored them.
Now you've opened my eyes. I understand now.
So yeah, originally it was stab with hidden blade, they're dead instantly. That's it.
That I knew.
As of the recent ones, ever since the RPG styles were brought in, so Origins, Odyssey, which by the way has nothing to do with the Assassins really. Valhalla, Mirage is the exception. Actually, I will say that Mirage has instant assassination and works pretty well. Actually, I quite like that game. It was the best one done recently. And now Shadows, they have the system where basically even if the person's wearing a loincloth, just because his number's higher, if you stab him with the hidden blade, there's a chance you probably won't kill him unless you focus on upgrading your hidden blade for some reason.
So that's why this guy is getting even more pissed about the numbers. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
so, as I said to you earlier in a TikTok you sent me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw my response or not.
I did.
But I basically said, okay, I haven't been on TikTok since. I'm not on it that much sometimes anymore. But I basically said that they've definitely focused on making the game look good, which is always a plus. You know, you and I have had many conversations about how a game doesn't need to look good to be good, but at the same time, it's always appreciated and always is nice to run around a game, especially an open world game.
Yeah,
that looks good because it makes like traveling to areas a lot more enjoyable because it just looks nice. So that's good that they've done that, and like the level of detail they've put into some things, like when throwing your knives through certain objects and all that. It's awesome to see. But as I then said afterwards, it seems like the gameplay they were, they held back on a bit, to put it nicely.
I can see that. You see, something that I'm finding quite interesting from this as well, that mode I was telling you about earlier, the guaranteed assassination, what I mean by that is, it's an option to turn the game back to how it used to be, where you stab someone with a hidden blade, they die instantly. That's an option. Basically there to make it feel, and I'll be brutally honest, it would make me genuinely feel like you're saying, oh yeah, play the game on easy mode. No, this is how
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed is. This is what it's always been.
Yeah, you're putting a blade into someone's neck.
Yeah, especially when you get to the higher bosses, and it's quite literally as though you're stabbing a man who's just got a loincloth on, and you're stabbing him in the throat, and then pulling the blade out, and he's just there like scratch.
But I mean, at that point, that brings you back. That brings you back to older games again. When you had an item like that, and you were able to just one-hit enemies, that would be another thing that you would see done in games that are older. You'd get to a boss, you'd go to do that because theoretically, doesn't matter if he's a boss. This is a one-hit weapon. Why would not one hit him? You would go to do it in the middle of the boss fight, and that's when you would then learn that they have something to stop that weapon from being able to connect with them. So, for example, they have some sort of weird neck armor. I don't know. This is just an example for Assassin's Creed because I don't know what way they would do it. Essentially, there'd be something in place to stop you from using that one-hit weapon on them, and that's when you realize, oh shit, I've actually got to fight this guy. This might be tough.
That actually happened in the older Assassin's Creed games. I remember trying to assassinate a guy. Just as I was going in for the assassination, a bodyguard rushed basically and just barged me out the way. So I couldn't fucking complete it. Then I had to fight them, which pissed me off. But the reason I think the older games did it quite well, they made you kind of a bit like a glass cannon. So yeah, you could insta-kill, but if you were found, you were probably gonna die. Because they would swarm you like ants. And they were brutal. Don't get me wrong, there was ways to fight them off, and yeah, you could do so. People got wise to it eventually. There was, especially back in the old game, there was, you could level up your armor, which was always nice. But you could counter, and countering would pretty much just kill everything. It was so easy. But yeah, it really is, when I look back, something that I'm like, why didn't you just keep to that idea of make us weaker and just tell us, yeah, you've got to stealth this like an assassin would. And yeah, I get some people are very much of the idea that you can still stealth the game, and you can if you're willing to go around and collect all the resources to upgrade your equipment. Sure, it wasn't really ever something that I had to think about in the other games, so I guess if you want that sort of progression, happy for you, but for a lot of us, it's not really something we ever thought about. That guaranteed assassination thing, to me, just wasn't something I was very interested by.
Yeah. Again, though, I just feel like it's just laziness. Instead of actually making bosses or bigger enemies seem even cooler and more unique to your standard enemy by making them somehow immune or just be able to deflect or the attack or something. Instead, they've just done what you just talked about yourself and the guy put in his review. They've just put a number, and that just makes him take so little damage from it, which just doesn't make sense. It's such a shit way of doing
100%. I'd agree with that. As I said, some people may disagree with us, and that's completely fine. You're welcome to your own opinion. Some people will fanboy the game, some people won't, vice versa. So, just to quickly cover these articles, because I don't want to spend much more time on it, because we've just spent quite a while on that topic, actually. Assassin's Creed Shadows reaches 1 million players on day one. It's on over 2 million now, and that was on the second day, if I remember right. It sounds like Ubisoft's having a tough time believing it, which they actually did. If I recall correctly, their tweet, here it is. It's not even 4 PM here in Canada, and Assassin's Creed Shadows has already passed 1 million players. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for joining us on this adventure in feudal Japan. We are beyond excited to start this journey with you. So, they're definitely handling it well. Things seem to be quite good. And that's good to see, to be honest. We were questioning what was going to happen with Ubisoft. So,
Yeah.
this helps to answer a few questions. Not much, but a few.
I mean, 2 million players already. That's a solid number.
Yeah. Especially
and that's going to be quite the uplift for Ubisoft as well, given their current predicament that they're in. So let's hope they can keep going up from here instead of just letting this go to their heads and think that they're immortal and then go straight back to where they were.
Oh, 100%. And you know what? Even during these times of Assassin's Creed, as we were discussing earlier, like the views, the graphics, the map design, they're all done well. We have nothing bad to say about them. I mean, this was just on about here. This is something called Map Genie, and basically for certain games that they work on, they put pins on maps of where certain things are. I use them occasionally, but this is just from Assassin's Creed Valhalla. These are all the items throughout that entire map. And that's only one of the maps, because you actually have another place in Norway, which has a massive map to it as well. So they always pack a lot in, and I can't complain about that with them, and it's not something I want to do. They're pretty reasonable as things go with that. But, oh, okay.
I mean, we've covered a few open world games. There were a couple that released over the last while that we covered, and they were dead and empty.
Yeah.
So when you release an open world game and you've got items everywhere, you've got little bits and bobs you can go to, even if they're nothing significant, it's just something to have in the world, so the world doesn't feel empty. And that's an important part. That is like one of the most critical things when it comes to an open world game.
Exactly. And Ubisoft do that right. The things they seem to need to work on, from what people say: story, work on refining their gameplay elements and mechanics as well, and move away from this number system, please. Like, it's getting a bit... people are getting fed up of it, to be honest. Don't get me wrong, you've definitely got an audience for it, but there are many others that would definitely jump in if that sort of system was removed. But yeah, the maps still to this day do stand up well. Assassin's Creed Shadows has convinced me that Ubisoft will never make a good RPG. I wonder what this one, what the reason for this could be. Jump from sneaky action sandboxes to full-fledged RPGs a long time ago. At first, the novelty of all the loot, skill trees, dialogue choices, and quests were enough to make it seem like Ubisoft had been successful in its pivot. But the more of these RPGs it makes, the more the gaps become obvious. It's chock full of RPG systems, possibly more than any other Assassin's Creed, but their lack of depth reveals a fundamental problem at this point. I doubt the series will ever overcome. Assassin's Creed is an action series cosplaying as an RPG. It goes for all the checklist, RPG traits, furiously ticking away, an absurd array of weapons, outfits, extensive skill trees for both protagonists, frequent dialogue choices, romantic relationships, and more quests than any reasonable person has time for. How could this be anything other than an RPG? Okay, some of this is legit. Power progression, skill trees don't really lend themselves to build crafting and experimentation. There's plenty of ways of fancy bits of gear that allow you to go down different routes. Doesn't hold a candle to pure RPGs, whether it's Path of Exiles or Elden Ring, but that's not what it's aiming for. This ain't Dungeon Romp, it's a story-driven RPG. Yeah. Temp agency. Phony agency it's trying to sell players on is perhaps the best example of how it's failing, and the most egregious instance of RPG cosplaying. Throughout the meaty game, we're given the finished illusion of choice, specifically through dialogue options. They are meaningless. You are not the author of this story, you're barely an active participant. Often, you'll simply get choices that don't matter, with nothing really changing based on what line you pick. The most frustrating moment, though, are when you pick one of two dialogue options, and after one of the two main protagonists repeats the line you picked, they then immediately repeat the one that you didn't. That would just sound aggravating.
Yeah, it would just be annoying.
Ubisoft created an utterly bizarre canon mode that makes all the canon choices for you, which really tells you everything you need to know about its priorities. Forget choices, you are just along for the ride. Your agency doesn't matter, and this isn't your story. Gives you the illusion of choice. The explanation for this mode is frankly utterly bonkers. Apparently, some imaginary players can't stomach the idea of not knowing what choices in this entirely fictional story are canon, so this mode is for them. That just sounds aggravating. Knights vs. Samurai. Finally finishing the behemoth that is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 right before Shadows was a big mistake. With Henry's misadventures fresh in my mind, the next RPG I played was going to have a lot to live up to, and Shadows doesn't come close. Well, there you go. If you want a proper RPG, play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. If you want not that, play Assassin's Creed Shadows.
I feel like this day and age, with the amount of games that have been released over the last few decades, basic storyline games where you're not actually really making choices, you're just hitting the next voice line and making your character say them. I think we're long over those. I think games like Stalker 2, for example, since we both love it,
Yep.
are the way that you need to do storyline games now.
Yep.
Have multiple endings, have your choices matter, and actually make it where your consumer feels like they are in the story and not just watching some shitty TV series on the sideline.
Yeah. No, I'm completely with you. But yeah, that's Assassin's Creed Shadows, really. There's not really much more I want to say on it, because there's not really much more to say on it, in my opinion, that we can really expand upon. It's some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it, and I'm definitely not on the absolutely adore side. I might pick it up when it's on sale, see how it is, and I'll let us know when I get to that. I flat out refuse to make another game I cannot mention mistake and purchase close to release and spend a lot of money that I shouldn't have spent. Because that was the biggest waste of money I ever made. So yeah, that's the plan. That's what I'm thinking. I'm sure
It's almost like Rory sort of learned from his mistakes.
Yeah, I know, right? If only I'd learned not to pre-order games, would be fucking fantastic. Sadly, I keep making that mistake. Actually, I don't think I've made it yet this year. I think I'm doing okay.
I mean, it's early in the year.
Hey, we're not far off October.
October?
Look, with the fucking speed of this year so far, it would not surprise me if I blink and it's October. United Video Game Workers Union launches at GDC 2025 in partnership with CWA. This'll be fun. UVW-CWA, talk about acronyms galore, is the first direct join union in North America. Initial campaign addresses ongoing industry layoffs, which is something we've wanted to see for a while. So, hallelujah on that one. So, during the 2025 Games Development Conference this week, industry workers launched the United Video Game Workers Union in partnership with the Communication Workers of America. I see why they fucking abbreviated that shit, because Jesus Christ, is that a mouthful.
Isn't it just? I mean, they abbreviate a lot of things in anything like this, and my issue with that is I always forget what the abbreviations stand for. So a lot of the time I'll be reading things and I'll just be like, the who what now?
The thing is, even the abbreviation is a fucking mouthful. So
Yeah.
if the abbreviation's a mouthful, dear God, the full thing is awful. The UVW-CWA, see what I fucking mean, is the first direct join union for developers in the US and Canada, meaning it does not represent a single workplace. Both full-time and freelance workers across various disciplines can join, including those working in art, writing, design, quality assurance, and programming. Those affected by layoffs can also join, as well as workers who want to or are organising unions in their own workplace. This is a great idea. As detailed on their website, the union has listed the following demands from employers. Let's see if these will be useful. Sustainable growth instead of short-term boom and bust hiring cycles. Perfectly fair to request, to be honest. Advance notice before layoffs. Completely agreed after the Unity thing. Woke up to bloody... you've lost your job. Paid time off following layoffs. Yep, completely fair. Improved severance pay. I'd say fair again. Yeah. Extended health insurance for laid off workers. 100%. Because Jesus Christ, the stress you probably just put on them on top of everything else. Recall rights. Those who are let go get priority when the company starts hiring again. That's very fair in my opinion. Worker control over decisions to use generative AI. Yes. 1,000% yes. The amount we have stated in the past year or so that AI should be used by the workers not controlled by the higher-ups to get rid of the workers.
Yeah, not replacing them and their jobs. Only there to
Exactly.
assist the workers.
Those are extremely fair requests. I'm 100% behind that. Its first campaign addresses the ongoing layoffs, with the union noting that over 10,500 jobs were lost in 2023, followed by a further 14,600 last year.
There were more
Yeah,
than the year before. That's ridiculous.
it's insane.
You would think, like, at the very least, the number would be going down per year as we get further from the, like, crazy hire spree that they all went on for COVID.
Well, just think about what Ubisoft turned around and said to us. Ubisoft turned around and said. They said how they're going to basically be continuing layoffs and, what was it? Money-saving adventures.
Oh, yeah.
Into this year because they went so well last year. Dickheads. This comes after GDC's State of the Game Industry report that found that 41% of surveyed developers reported being affected by layoffs in 2024. No shock. Members of UVW-CWA handed out a petition demanding dignity and job security for all video game workers during GDC this week, in addition to hosting panels, a rally, and a launch party as reported by IGN. The creation of this union was not done in isolation. It's a cumulative effort by the thousands of video game workers who have been fighting for years to redefine what it means to stand together and reclaim power in one of the largest and highest grossing industries on the globe. These workers are taking a bold stand, joining together to build power for the workers behind the games we all know and love. The formation of United Video Game Workers CWA is an exciting step in our union's work to help video game workers build power in their industry. As video game studios have consolidated, the workers whose creativity, dedication, and skill bring these games to life have become more of an afterthought. They are subject to endless cycles of layoffs and rehiring as corporate executives pursue short-term profits at the expense of a sustainable future. It's completely right, to be honest with you. And I am completely with them.
Let's be honest, the numbers we just saw, that was about 25,000 people that have lost their jobs in the last 2 years, which is ridiculous. And the ones that were lucky enough to keep theirs, I'm sure they're all sitting thinking, when are they going to be next, you know?
Yeah.
Considering we saw recently in some areas and in some companies, people from all areas were being fired, that means no one is safe.
Exactly.
Anyone could be next. So I think this is a brilliant idea, and it's going to sort of give them a bit more security. Even if in the end they do lose their job, at least they'll be supported a little bit more until they can get back on their feet.
Exactly that, mate. Yeah. Moving on to the next topic then, I suppose. This upcoming Korean tactical shooter features situational awareness AI that reminds me of the uber smart clones from Monolith's Fear. So, apparently there's like a bit of a thing here. Now this is just a gameplay trailer, I suppose, just to show off like how it's gonna work. Dear God, does that look awful? There we go. So how's the AI gonna work?
It's gonna be super hot vibes, dude. We're seeing them in all red.
Yeah. Did you see that ragdoll?
Hey, you know I'm a fan of ragdolls.
Oh,
I just feel like some fucking mobile game though.
It does look it at the moment, doesn't it?
The mechanics as well just feel like mobile. Recoil is just bouncing left and right as well, which is not fun.
No, definitely needs to be sorted. Look up.
I hate that games do that to stop you from being able to like kill enemies at long range with any weapon that's not a long range, specifically a long range weapon, basically a sniper rifle. Then
yeah, I do like though that they've clearly got the AI to realize, right, this is what we've got in the environment. Where do we go? Where do we move next? What do we do? And they're constantly moving. They're stationary for very little time. He does not care about that guy, does he? So what? The guy knows where you are, so he's going to try and push. And... Yep. I'd be very much intrigued to see more, especially with the graphics and stuff, and to see if they progress this, the other features. But I suppose the big thing about it at the moment is that's just the AI feature. So all we were looking at there was the AI, how it works, that sort of thing. Which, how the AI works, I'm pretty okay with. I'd like to see it more in my playstyle than I would some random person's. You know what I mean, though? Like, you understand how you play rather than everyone else.
Yeah.
And very much, it's a lot easier to tell when it's stuff like that. Stop showing me this. I don't want to see more about it. But I am very intrigued by it. It looks pretty cool so far. And I think, to be honest, that trailer alone has just shown us a lot quicker than this article would have. So, yeah, definitely going to keep an eye out on that. Project TH. So, yeah, have a look at that down the line. Now, here's the thing, Will. The thing we missed. Remember this photo?
Yeah. That's the SteamOS.
Yeah, we missed that somehow.
Damn it.
All it says is Steam. Now, the curiosity there comes from, is that just going to, like, connect to Steam? Is it going to bring Steam OS up? Is it just going to show games installed via Steam? What's it going to do? We can't say for certain, but yeah, we genuinely missed that. Turns out a lot of people did, thankfully. But that's very interesting considering that's from Microsoft themselves, which is extremely interesting considering everything that's being rumoured at the moment. I'd definitely say that this pushes more towards that. Now, me and Will have said many times over the years, before this even became something that we'd heard of, we are all for the idea of more people being able to access games that they usually wouldn't have access to. The more people,
Without a doubt.
Yeah, the more people that can play a game, whether it be on a different platform, whether or not, I don't care. Let people play wherever they want, play whatever they want.
There's just no downside to it. The people get to play more games. The developers get more people playing their games, which means they get more support, which means they get more purchases, and they get more money to develop future games.
Exactly.
And you don't have the bullshit of 15,000 people being laid off every year.
Yeah, exactly.
At some point, we're going to go into negative people here.
Yeah, who knows? We might finally start to see CEOs get fucking voted out instead. I wish.
I mean, hey, with the new union.
Yeah, with the new union, possibly. It's not for PC gamers, but Razer's new AI QA Copilot could ultimately benefit every PC gamer out there, and it's looking like it could be a killer app that AI needs right now.
That's a scary sentence.
Yeah, so I'm not going to read through every little bit, but there's a little video here. So let's have a look what Razer have got to show us. Wait, it's a quality assurance Copilot. It's looking for bugs in the game.
Well, I think I saw a bug.
Was it the walking
Yeah.
Yeah. But the fact that it's automatically logging these, don't get me wrong, you'd still want someone looking at these. But this is clever. That's an impressive little system. AI automated bug report. And that goes straight to the development team showing a little clip of it, reproduction steps. That will definitely assist and speed up gaming development.
Yeah, I mean, it's handy, and if they're able to just leave the program running in the background as well to find out for them, they don't actually need to be there actively watching it. That's even better because it means they can set that to go when they have a build and then like go on to like the next part of level design or creating the next piece of whatever, you know?
Exactly. I mean, even here it says, this one for example, incorrect damage dealt to bot 002. Player 002's health should have been reduced by 2% points. Player 002's health is reduced by 5 points. Reproduction steps, AI suggested resolution coming soon. So they're even going to look at how to actually, how the AI would recommend to fix a problem. Now, don't get me wrong, these are great, and I really do think this will be helpful to find some, like, really obvious ones, and maybe even a couple of hidden ones that you wouldn't notice. But there's still going to be a point where people are going to be needed to overcheck these things. Because you're never going to be 100%.
Yeah, and then you've got those rare occasions that things happen. They don't always happen every time.
Exactly. But I find that very interesting. I didn't expect that when I first found this article. I thought this was something very different, but I'm actually more impressed now.
not what I thought it was going to be about. I just hope that the same thing we've mentioned multiple times, that they don't decide, oh, well, now we don't need these people to do that because we got AI to do it.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
like we just said, you still need people.
Yeah, no, 100%. So, AtomFall review. I'm not going to cover this in full because I'd rather not have any spoilers or anything like that. And this game was looking good. So, the bit that I pretty much want to hit is the actual review part rather than all the extra bits. The link will be in our Discord in the Notion file that I've created with all our sources in for this episode. So, you can feel free to look through the full thing. I just want to cover the major part that we care about, to be fair. So, AtomFall review. Placing you at the center of a mystery, AtomFall gives you the freedom to achieve your goal in numerous ways via its engaging and rewarding lead system. Captivating from beginning to end, you'll enjoy exploring its various locations, meeting its quirky NPCs, and engaging in combat. Then, once you've discovered one ending, you'll likely jump in again to discover another. They rated it a 9 out of 10. Now, just a few quick points I want to cover because we haven't really played the game ourselves. It's not out yet, I don't believe, or it might have just released. Quickly just check that. AtomFall. It's not out yet. It comes out in 4 days. So we can't say for certain here, but so here we are. AtomFall gives you the freedom to achieve your ways in numerous goals via its engaging and rewarding lead system. Now, the issue with this is game journalists are never going to view things in the same way that players do and day-to-day people do. So, can't really take this a complete truth. It might be pretty good. It might be reasonable. They might have just hyped it up a bit further because they're happy they got a review key. Simple as that. Captivating from beginning to end, you'll enjoy exploring its various locations, meeting its quirky NPCs, and engaging combat. Similar system there. I have seen some of the combat, it did look pretty fun. Quirky NPCs, yeah, I saw that too. Various locations, yeah, that's something that each person will see. Then once you've discovered one ending, you'll like to jump in to discover another. Multiple endings, that's always good to know, always interesting. But is it really going to feel that replayable?
Multiple endings is always great because it means once you complete a game, there's actually something to go back and do. But as you said, like, is it going to have the replayability there that you want to do that,
Yeah.
Because you can put the multiple endings in there, but the game itself, the core game itself, needs to be good and fun enough that you want to go back and find another ending.
Exactly. We like locations are a joy to explore, gives you freedom to achieve your goals, combat is thrilling. We don't like, some might find the lead system a bit frustrating. There's my fucking point. Achieve your goals in numerous ways by its engaging and rewarding lead system. Some might find it a bit frustrating. So that was my point exactly on that topic, which is what I was a bit concerned by. The thing with this is, with reviewers in particular, it's always hard and it's always a bit difficult.
I mean, do we get any more information on that system?
Let me have. Rather than bombard you with quest markers, AtomFall by default expects you to go out of your way to find leads. By following these leads, that you discover more about the people and locations of the quarantine zone, and perhaps how you might escape it. And by following these leads, you're likely to find yet more leads.
Okay, there's good and bad things to that.
There definitely is.
If you're one of those people that gets very quickly bored and annoyed with dialogue, you're not going to be able to play this game.
I have like a set rule. If I skip dialogue to a game within like the first 2 hours, guaranteed I'm refunding that game.
Oof. I will admit, I tried to listen to dialogue, but once you've played a game long enough, even if it's like shortly into the start of playing that game, if you start to skip dialogue, you will keep skipping more and more dialogue.
Yeah, exactly. And considering
and if the game
story game.
Yeah. And if the game needs you to listen to dialogue, and like genuinely needs you, not just to like understand the story of the game, but to also continue playing the game, that is risky.
Yeah.
Because I feel like no matter what, everyone at some point skips dialogue.
Oh, 100% they do. But I always find if I do it within the first like 2 hours, there's not enough of a story to keep me going. And I will get bored and I'll probably stop playing. Because the gameplay elements weren't fun as it were, so... Sorry, the game I'm using as an example on this was Ubisoft's Avatar game. I bought it recently when the spring sale was on, and I refunded it because within the first, hour, I started skipping dialogue. So... And the game wasn't as enjoyable as I wanted it to be, so... Yeah. Ultimately, the hope is that you'll eventually find your own way through the game, reaching one of multiple endings depending on the leads you've followed, who you've trusted, and the items you've acquired. Needless to say, you're given a lot of freedom, and so there's a real sense of accomplishment when you do make progress. And it's really impressive how Rebellion, the developer of AtomFall, has managed to create something that has so many layers and solutions. So basically, you're just finding different ways and different people that may help you to escape the place.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll have some sort of journal where any bits of information you find out will get noted down, which is good because it means if you do miss something or you forget something, you can look back on it, which is a standard thing for games. But then the issue is you're just gonna go around spamming through dialogue and then go into your journal and not actually talk to any of the NPCs and interact with the world at all.
No, I'm with you on that. So the last topic of the day. Well, we made it. The last topic.
Don't speak too soon.
Has it been a bad? Have I given any bad news today?
It's been all right. There's some good things happening. The union's great news. Assassin's Creed did surprisingly well. Well, to an extent.
So not bad. I've done okay so far.
So far, I feel like you're gearing up for the opposite. You're acting kind of sus right now.
Well, let's just see. GTA Veterans' new open world game will belong to everyone. Almost like a wild mix of Roblox and Minecraft servers. It won't just be ours. A few GTA veterans have frankly bonkers ambitions for their first post-Rockstar game, which involves custom servers where pretty much anything is possible. Former Rockstar North President and longtime GTA lead Leslie Benzies opened a new studio, Build a Rocket Boy. I like the studio name. After his departure from the famed developer he spent nearly 2 decades working in, it's now gearing up to release everywhere an ambitious project which is being billed as an open world that contains explorable biomes and in-game modes. Sure, it also houses Roblox-style user-generated content and an entirely separate AAA game that looks an awful lot like GTA called Mindseye. Everything in everywhere all at once. Okay.
I'm a little confused.
I'm also confused here. What the
that
hell
was
right?
that was a lot.
Game. So I've already got Mindseye. What the hell's everywhere?
It sounds like it's a hub.
It does, doesn't it? Is this it? Okay, not my cup of tea personally. I'd imagine it's this. Of course, this is why I watch videos before.
Yeah.
Because that way I've got rid of the ads already. Yeah, just skip. Oh wait, this is someone else's video. Why is it? I'm pretty sure that was a PlayStation trailer. Oh no, I see, I got tricked. God damn you. God damn you, sir. But I do have the other PlayStation. That's, even though I'm being fibbed again. Let's just see. Nope, you're a dick. Don't like you. Anyways, this is Mindseye. This is the reveal gameplay trailer. It links to everywhere, so I thought I'd just show you this quickly. My only question is, do you like your cars destroyed or in pieces? Or in, one piece?
I mean, more destruction is always nice.
Perfect. You'll enjoy this trailer. It's basically Michael Bay's love child. Starting now.
Man, it's really like blowing up cars, huh?
Yeah, he really doesn't like cars. See? Just really does not like them.
Doesn't like anything, apparently. He just wants to blow everything up.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, more explosions, more explosions, more explosions. Wait for it, more explosions.
Michael Bay's love child. Now, don't get me wrong, I like explosions, but I love all the comments. Bro hates cars. 20% gameplay, 80% car destruction. Sold. How many exploding cars do you want in this trailer? Yes. Michael Bay, the game. You know what I mean? It was pretty good. But yeah, I can't really complain very much. It looks pretty cool. I'm just very baffled about this everywhere business. Oh, it is that everywhere. It just doesn't look very good.
No, I think it's like literally like a hub, and you go in and make games in it. It's what it feels
Fortnite
like.
and the others.
Fortnite creative mode, like if you want, I don't know.
Yeah, like it's very similar to Fortnite's creative mode, Minecraft, Onlines, and Roblox. You know what I mean? Just build your own, like, fucking elements to them. It's an ambitious project build to as an open world that contained... Oh, yeah, we've already read that. Ex-Rockstar North quality assurance lead and current build Rocket Boy associate game director Adam Whiting explained a bit more about how the complicated project would work in an interview with Edge magazine. When we do release our open world, it won't just be ours, there'll be other players' versions of the open world as well. Before comparing it to another giant sandbox game where anything is possible, it's almost like Minecraft servers. There are official servers, but there are also custom servers with wacky stuff. Maybe there's a zombie apocalypse server you go on, or one where they wipe the map of our story and our characters and tell their own narrative using our tools. As impressive as mindseye looks, with all of its fancy cars, explosions, and mo-capped porous faces, I'm guessing what'll make or break everywhere is the user-generated stuff. Roblox itself contains countless hit games. Just look at how viral Dress to Impress was. No idea. And I remember Hunger Games Minecraft servers. Now I remember that.
Oh yeah.
That was doing the Battle Royale thing before Battle Royale games existed. Exactly. It was the original.
Yeah. Kind of crazy to think about.
It is, isn't it? Hopefully everywhere's tools are as impressive as they sound. So
what, they've made a game using it.
Yeah.
To show what can be made out of it. And now
Pretty
they basically just want people to come in and start making their own games out of it as well.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I can get behind it.
That'll be interesting to see. Okay.
There's my fear redefined.
Sorry, how much was that third one? Did I see $63.99?
I did.
Okay.
Okay. No, thank you. So you can't find any reason as to why. I guess it's just founding, but still, fuck you.
It's a law. I don't know.
Let's laugh. Yeah, so that's actually what it is. Okay. No. I just saw this, like, purchase thing. The moment it says store, I'm like, no, I don't like that. Thank you. So they actually have, like, some things set up already.
Yeah.
Which, it's pretty cool. Game mode templates, racing. Actually, there's a wheeled race, free-for-all score tracking, team deathmatch, power grab, game flow, gun game, manual respawning, team assignments. So, yeah, pretty basic stuff. Some tutorials, some tools. They definitely need to do more before getting people into that, really, I'd say. Because, yeah, it's cool, but I'd want better gun systems than that. You can just tell by the style.
Yeah, it's going to be very basic to start, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I guess they're just trying to get people in as early as possible to start getting more done.
Yeah, I'd imagine so, to be honest with you. But, I mean, hey, what else can we do? It'll be interesting to see what comes from it at the very minute.
It's one of those things that we're just going to have to sort of leave it be and see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, I found a lot this week. I can't say it's all positive, but I can say the vast majority of it was. I can definitely say that the majority of it just had left more questions than actual annoyance, which is nice. Nice to take a week off being angry.
So what, is that it? We're back to normal next week then? Nothing but anger.
Yeah.
Negativity, hatred.
Exactly.
Wonderful. I can't wait.
Well, you'll be better next week, so I don't have to, like, care and deal with, like...
Okay. Alright then.
He sounds so heartbroken. What the fuck?
Piece of shit.
There we go. That's the Will I know.
Ah, fuck you.
But no, I believe that's everything that I've got for us. So unless Will's got anything,
Nothing that comes to mind.
that's no problem. As I said earlier, we do have a new link system in the Discord, which seems to work pretty well, to be honest. I'm kind of actually impressed. Yeah. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, feel free to like, follow, subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff. And join the Discord, which will kill me for if I keep forgetting. And we will see you all in the next episode.
Bye for now, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.